Hi, Conchita here. You know, people ask me all the time, how do I look, feel, and function the way I do at 77, especially after overcoming cancer? And I tell them, it's because I made up my mind. I made a conscious decision that not only was I going to rev up my immune system to overcome cancer, I was going to elevate every aspect of my health, body, mind, and spirit, so I could live longer, live stronger, and live happily ever after. And at 77, happily ever after is really important to me because time is at a premium. People always ask me, what do I eat? What kind of supplements do I take? What kind of exercise do I do? What are my self-care practices? And that is the purpose of my YouTube channel, is to help women over 50 go from just merely surviving to thriving. Women over 50, 60, 70, 80, any age. Yes, you can go from just surviving to thriving and living happily ever after. I know because I'm doing it. In the beginning, I was thinking of making the focus of my channel strictly how to thrive after cancer. But I realized that there's something that needs to be addressed. Many of us are living with the residual anxiety of being diagnosed with cancer. After all, what could be more stressful than being told you have cancer? And for many of us, life after cancer can still be full of anxiety because I think many people are afraid of cancer returning. And one thing I do know is that chronic stress is going to compromise your immune system. Chronic stress and anxiety is going to shorten your lifespan. Chronic stress and anxiety is going to accelerate the aging process. And we're living in an age where everything is accelerated. Everything is moving at warp speed. We're bombarded with so much information, so many decisions, so many responsibilities, so many questions, so many things to do. And now we've introduced AI into our daily lives. So now we are stressed even more. And we're on a roller coaster of just constant anxiety, constant stress, and we're living in a mode of fight or flight all the time without even realizing it. We are not living a life of ease. We are living a life of dis-ease. Now here's how constant stress and anxiety ages you. When you suffer from a stressful event, or when you carry a lot of anxiety, it causes your adrenal glands to release the stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones get released into your system, and in turn they cause inflammation all throughout the body. Now that inflammation can lead to autoimmune diseases such as lupus, high blood pressure, cancer, cardiovascular disease. I can attest to that because I had a surprise heart attack a few years ago also. Knowing what I know now, it should not have been a surprise, but trust me, it was a surprise. The other thing about the constant anxiety is that it now causes sleep deprivation. And sleep deprivation can shorten your lifespan also because sleep is your healing time. And then there are the little nagging things that come as you age. Body aches, fatigue, headaches. things that we think of as normal, but they are not. And there are ways to overcome these things. Here's a quote from Hippocrates. I'm going to read it directly from my notes because it is a very concise, succinct statement that will explain to you the illnesses that we suffer from today. Now, Hippocrates was known as the Greek father of medicine. He was born around 460 BC. He says, "Illnesses do not come upon us out of the blue. They are developed from small, deadly sins against nature. When enough sins have accumulated, illnesses will suddenly appear." Now, it's just like with your car. If you keep driving your car and never maintain it, just like your car, your body's check engine light comes on. But when your check engine light comes on, the damage is done. Now you understand that all the damage is cumulative. And another thing to understand is when your mind is racing like that, many times you are remembering a past trauma that was never resolved, or you're anticipating a future calamity that may never happen. So let me show you my simple, easy, and most of all, effective way I deal with my stress when I feel that it's getting out of control. Okay, the moment you become conscious that you are spiraling out of control, that you're overwhelmed with anxiety, you need to stop and drop. Drop your shoulders, that is. Remember back in the day, the fire drills? I had to laugh when I think about it now, but we were always taught if a building's on fire, of course you run out of the building. But if your clothes were on fire, you don't keep running, you stop, drop, and roll to put the fire out. So what you need to do is you need to become conscious that you're overwhelmed, and you need to just stop, drop your shoulders, and take a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. That's called a pattern interrupt. That pattern interrupt will bring you back to the now, back to focusing on what is happening right now instead of your mind racing into the future or instead of your mind remembering some past trauma. It's what I call the eternal now. And that's where we should always be focused. So, here's the technique. I know, it looks silly, but it works. Now here's how to do it. You're going to use your thumb and your ring finger on your right hand. You will cover your right nostril with your thumb, and you will breathe in through your left nostril. Now, you cover your left nostril with your ring finger and breathe out through your right nostril. Then in through your right nostril, out through your left nostril. And you're going to repeat that 8 times, slowly. And you're going to be concentrating on your breath as you do this. This brings you back to the now, to the present moment, and the breathing slows down your heart rate. It tames what I call the monkey mind and just brings you back to the present and so that you're in a state of relaxation. So that's it. So smile and carry on. But before you go, let me know in the comments if you tried this practice and how it makes you feel. Also, if you find that my video is bringing value to you, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you really want to help me out in growing my channel so that I can bring you more information and create better videos, you can buy me a coffee. And I thank you in advance. Oh, and next time, I am going to talk about how my life was so out of control that I was actually begging to die. Stay tuned for that one.